From translation, Net New English Translation, this 215 day of the year, today we are reading passages, Isaiah 28-30, Isaiah chapter 28, verses 1 to 29 are, the proud crown of the drunkards of Ephraim, and the fading flower of its beautiful splendor, which is located at the head of the fertile valley, to those who are overcome with wine. Look, the Lord has one who is strong and powerful, like a storm of hail, a destructive storm, like a storm of mighty, overflowing waters, he throws down to the earth with violent force. The proud crown of the drunkards of Ephraim will be trampled underfoot. And the fading flower of its beautiful splendor, which is located at the head of the fertile valley, will be like a fig ripe before harvest. When someone sees it, he swallows it up almost instantly. At that time, the Lord who commands armies will be like a crown of beauty, and a diadem of splendor to the remnant of his people, and a spirit of justice to the one who sits in judgment, and strength to those who drive back the battle at the gate. But even these stagger from wine and stumble from beer. Priests and prophets stagger from beer and are bewildered by wine. They stagger from beer, they hallucinate, they get confused when giving prophetic oracles. For all the tables are full of vomit and filth, no place is clean. To whom will he communicate a message? To whom will he explain it? To someone weaned from milk, to babies just removed from the breast. Indeed, he says, rule by rule, line by line, a little here, a little there. Indeed, he will speak to this people through stammering lips and a foreign tongue. He who said to them, here is rest, give rest to the weary, and here is repose, but they refused to listen. So the Lord's word to them will sound like meaningless gibberish, senseless babbling, a syllable here, a syllable there. So they will fall on their backsides when they try to walk, and be injured, ensnared, and captured. So listen to this message, you scoffing rulers who rule this people in Jerusalem. For you said, we have made a treaty with death, with Sheol we have an agreement. When the overwhelming judgment sweeps by, it will not reach us, for we have made a lie our refuge, we have taken shelter in falsehood. Therefore this is what the sovereign Lord says. Look, I am laying a stone in Zion, a tested stone, a precious cornerstone for a sure foundation. The one who believes will not be shaken. I will make justice the measuring line, fairness the plumb line. Hail will sweep away the unreliable refuge, the water will flood the hiding place. Your treaty with death will be dissolved. Your agreement with Sheol will not stand. When the overwhelming judgment sweeps by, you will be trampled by it. Every time it sweeps by, it will seize you. Indeed, it will sweep by morning after morning, during the day and night. Terror alone will make you understand what it means. Indeed, the bed is too short to stretch out on, and the blanket is too narrow to wrap oneself in. For the Lord will rise up, as he did at Mount Perazim, he will rouse himself, as he did in the valley of Gibeon, to accomplish his work, his strange work, and to perform his task, his disturbing task. So now do not mock, or your chains will become heavier. For I have heard from the sovereign Lord who commands armies, that a decree of destruction has been issued for the whole land. Listen and hear my voice, pay attention and hear what I say. Does a farmer always plow and plant his field in the same way? When he has leveled its surface, does he not scatter the dill and sow the cumin? Does he not plant wheat, barley, and spelt in their allotted places? For he is properly instructed, his God teaches him. Dill is not threshed with a sledge, nor is a cart wheel rolled over cumin. But dill is beaten out with a stick, and cumin with a flail. Grain is crushed, one does not keep threshing it forever. Even when he drives his cart wheel over it with his horses, he does not crush it. This also comes from the Lord who commands armies. His plans are wonderful, his wisdom is great. Isaiah chapter 29, verses 1 to 24 are Ariel, the city where David camped. Year after year you celebrate your festivals. I will besiege Ariel, she will be a city of mourning and sorrow. She will be like an Ariel to me. I will camp against you all around, I will besiege you with towers. I will set up siege works against you. You will be brought down, you will speak from the ground, your speech will mumble from the dust. Your voice will be like a ghost's coming from the ground, your speech will whisper from the dust. But your many enemies will be like fine dust, the many ruthless like wind-blown chaff. Suddenly, in an instant, the Lord who commands armies will come with thunder, earthquake, and great noise, with windstorm, tempest, and flames of devouring fire. The armies of all the nations fighting against Ariel, that is, against Jerusalem, her fortress and the siege works that distress her, will be like a dream, a night vision. It will be like a hungry man dreaming that he is eating, but he wakes up and his stomach is empty, or like a thirsty man dreaming that he is drinking, but he wakes up and is still parched and thirsty. So will be the hordes of all the nations fighting against Mount Zion. Be shocked and amazed, blind yourselves and be blind. They are drunk, but not from wine, they stagger, but not from beer. For the Lord has poured out on you a spirit of deep sleep. He has shut your eyes, the prophets, and has covered your heads, the seers. For you, the entire vision is like the words of a sealed scroll. When you give it to someone who can read and say, "Read this," he answers, "I cannot, because it is sealed." Or you give the scroll to someone who cannot read and say, "Read this," and he answers, "I cannot read." The Lord said, "Because these people draw near with their mouths and honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me, and their worship of me is made up only of rules taught by men, therefore I will again do an amazing thing for these people, an absolutely extraordinary deed. Wise men will be completely dumbfounded, and their wisdom will be useless. Those who try to hide their plans from the Lord are as good as dead, who do their deeds in the dark and say, 'Who sees us? Who knows what we are doing?' Your thinking is perverse. Should the potter be regarded as clay? Should the thing made say about its maker, 'He didn't make me'? Or should the pottery say about the potter, 'He doesn't understand'? In a very short time, Lebanon will turn into an orchard, and the orchard will be considered a forest. In that day the deaf will be able to hear words read from a scroll, and the eyes of the blind will be able to see through deep darkness. The oppressed will rejoice in the Lord. The destitute will shout for joy because of the Holy One of Israel. For ruthless tyrants will disappear, and mockers will cease to exist. All those who plan to do evil will be cut off, those who cause a person to be convicted by word, who entrap the one who arbitrates at the gate, and who deprive the innocent of justice by false accusations. This is how the Lord, who redeemed Abraham, responds to the family of Jacob. Jacob will no longer be ashamed. Their faces will no longer be pale. For when they see their children among them, the work of my hands, they will treat my name as holy. They will acknowledge the holiness of the Holy One of Jacob, and will stand in awe of the God of Israel. Those who stray in spirit will gain understanding, and those who complain will accept instruction. Isaiah chapter 30, verses 1 to 33. Those who go down to Egypt for help, who rely on horses. They trust in their many chariots and in their numerous horsemen, but they do not look to the Holy One of Israel. They do not seek the Lord, yet he too is wise and brings disaster. He does not call back his words. He will rise up against the house of evildoers and against those who help workers of iniquity. Egypt is humanity, not God. Their horses are flesh, not spirit. When the Lord raises his hand to strike, the helper will stumble, and the one helped will fall. Both will perish together. For this is what the Lord has said to me. As a lion or a young lion growls over its prey, when a band of shepherds is called out against it, it is not terrified by their shouting or disturbed by their noise, so the Lord who commands armies will descend to do battle on Mount Zion and on its hill. Like birds flying about, so the Lord who commands armies will protect Jerusalem. He will protect and deliver it, he will spare and rescue it. This is an oracle about the animals of the Negev. Through a land of distress and danger, of lionesses and roaring lions, of adders and darting snakes, the envoys carry their riches on donkeys' backs, their treasures on the humps of camels, to a nation that cannot help them. Egypt's help is totally unreliable. Therefore I call her Rahab, who just sits. Now go, write it on a tablet before them and inscribe it on a scroll, so that it might be a witness for a future day forever. For it is a rebellious people, deceitful children, children unwilling to listen to the Lord's instruction. They say to the seers, "See no more visions," and to the prophets, "Don't tell us what is right. Tell us nice things, prophesy illusions. Leave the way, turn aside from the path, stop confronting us with the Holy One of Israel." Therefore, this is what the Holy One of Israel says. Because you reject this message, trust in oppression, and rely on deceit, this sin will become for you like a high wall, cracked and bulging, that collapses suddenly, in a flash. It will break in pieces like a pottery jar, smashed so completely that not a fragment will be found among the pieces to use for drawing fire from a hearth, or to scoop water out of a cistern. For this is what the Sovereign Lord, the Holy One of Israel, says. If you repent and trust, you will be delivered. If you are confident and calm, you will be strong, but you refuse. You say, "No, we will flee on horses." Therefore you will flee. You say, "We will ride on swift horses." Therefore your pursuers will be swift. 1,000 will retreat because of the threat of one. You will retreat because of the threat of 5, until you are left alone like a flagpole on the top of a mountain, like a signal on a hill. Therefore the Lord waits to be gracious to you. He rises to show you compassion. For the Lord is a just God. All who wait for him in faith are blessed. Indeed, O people in Zion who reside in Jerusalem, you will not weep uncontrollably anymore when he cries out to you. He will surely respond to the sound of your cry. Though the Lord may give you the bread of adversity and the water of oppression, your teachers will no longer be hidden. Your eyes will see your teachers, and when you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a message behind you. This is the way, walk in it. Then you will defile your silver-plated idols and your gold-covered images. You will throw them away like a menstrual cloth. You will say to them, "Be gone." Then he will send rain for the seed you sow in the ground, and the food that comes from the land will be rich and plentiful. At that time your cattle will graze in broad pastures. The oxen and donkeys that work the ground will eat fodder that was winnowed with a shovel and pitchfork. On every high mountain and every high hill there will be streams flowing with water, at the time of great slaughter when the towers fall. The light of the full moon will be like the sun's light, and the sun's light will be 7 times brighter, like the light of 7 days, when the Lord binds up his people's fractured bones and heals the wound he inflicted. Look, the name of the Lord comes from a distant place in raging anger and awesome splendor. He speaks angrily, and his word is like devouring fire. His word is like a torrent that rises up to the neck, to sift the nations in a sieve of judgment, and to place a bridle that leads to ruin on the jaws of the peoples. You will sing a song like the one sung on a festival night, and your heart will rejoice like one walking to the music of a flute. You will go to the mountain of the Lord, to the rock of Israel. The Lord will make his majestic voice heard. He will reveal his arm descending with raging anger and consuming flames, a cloudburst, a storm, and hailstones. At the sound of the tumult, Assyria will panic, and the Lord will strike him down with his club. Every stroke of the punishing rod that the Lord brings down on him will be to the music of tambourines and lyres. Fighting with brandished weapons he will war against them, for Topheth has already been laid out, it was prepared for the king. Its funeral pyre is deep and wide, with plenty of fire and wood. The breath of the Lord, like a stream of brimstone, sets it on fire.